If you're in banking leadership, you know the drill. You're pouring millions, sometimes billions, into employee training. But here's the question that probably keeps you up at night. Is any of it actually working? Well, today we're going to crack open a data-driven framework that finally gives a clear answer.
Right? It's the elephant in every boardroom. You sign off on this massive budget, but when it's time to show what you got for it, the data gets, well, fuzzy at best. How do you really connect the dots between a training session and a real improvement in performance or, actual revenue?
And let's be real. In a world as regulated and competitive as banking, the stakes are just incredibly high. Getting training wrong isn't just a waste of money. No, it can lead to huge compliance fails, terrible customer service, and a direct hit to your bottom line. So we urgently need a better way to figure out what really works.
Okay, so let's get into the solution. This isn't about guesswork anymore. It's about having a solid structure. We're going to walk through a 4-level framework that's designed to bring some serious data-backed clarity to the, let's face it, often chaotic world of training measurement.
Now, this isn't some brand new, untested theory. The foundation here is the Kirkpatrick 4-level model. It's pretty much the gold standard in the L&D world. But the real magic, the innovation, is how we can supercharge this proven model with modern data analytics, tailoring it specifically for what banks need today.
So here's how it breaks down. The framework maps out the whole journey. It starts simple. Did people even like the training? That's level 1 reaction. Then, okay, but did they actually learn anything from it? That's learning. Next, are they using what they learned back on the job? That's behavior. And finally, the big one. Did any of this actually move the needle for the business? That's impact. See? Simple, logical, and really, really powerful.
Now, to make this whole thing work, you need concrete things to measure at each level. We're talking key performance indicators, or KPIs. This is how we get from fuzzy feelings to hard facts, tracking everything from initial engagement all the way to the bottom line business results. So, starting with level 1, reaction. We're going way beyond did you enjoy the course. We're aiming for a net promoter score of 8.0 or higher. Why? Because this tells you if employees would actively recommend the training to their coworkers. And that is a fantastic indicator of its real value and relevance.
All right, next up, level 2, learning. We need tangible proof that knowledge was actually gained. The goal here is a solid 25% at least increase in assessment scores when you compare before the training to after. This makes sure we're measuring real comprehension, not just that someone clicked through the slides. Now, for level 3, behavior. And for banking, this is absolutely critical. When it comes to something like regulatory compliance, the target for people following the rules isn't 99%. It has to be 100%. This is a non-negotiable. It's where training directly tackles and reduces enormous risk for the entire organization. But behavior isn't just about playing defense and avoiding risk. It's also about driving growth. So another key level 3 metric could be a 20% or even greater increase in cross-selling success for employees who went through the training. Here, you can literally draw a straight line from a learning program to a revenue-generating activity. And that brings us to level 4, the holy grail, business impact. This is where we connect training directly to the numbers that the C-suite lives and breathes. Things like a 15% improvement in employee retention, or pushing those customer satisfaction scores up to a 4.5 out of 5 or higher. This is the ultimate proof that your investment is paying off.
Okay, so we know what we need to measure. That's great. But it brings up a huge question, right? How on earth do you actually collect all this data without drowning your teams in spreadsheets and one more survey?
Well, the answer lies in smart technology and clever design. And I'm not talking about those boring old-school feedback forms nobody wants to fill out. We're talking about smart, integrated, and even kind of fun tools that make giving feedback a totally seamless part of the day. For instance, just imagine finishing an online training, and this pops up. It's gamified, it's quick, it's engaging, and hey, you even get a little Learning Champion badge. This simple shift in approach can dramatically boost the amount and the quality of the feedback you get for level 1. Or think about this, an AI assistant that just casually checks in with you on WhatsApp or Teams. It's basically having a natural conversation to see how you're applying your new skills. This is exactly how you get that rich, real-world data on behavior change, without it feeling like a test. But of course, not everything happens online. That's why it's so important that this framework also brings in real-world feedback. Simple tools, like a checklist for a branch manager's observation or a feedback card on a teller's desk, these are crucial for capturing how people are performing on the ground. So, once you have the framework and you've got the data collection tools humming along, we can finally get to the number everyone's been waiting for, the bottom line. What is the actual financial return on an investment like this?
Let's be upfront about the cost. To implement the tech, train the teams, and roll out these new systems, you're looking at a total investment of around 5 crore rupees. Now that's a significant number for sure, but it's only one side of the equation.
Because now, look at the other side. The annual benefits this generates are nearly 3 times that initial investment. This 14.5 crore figure comes from a mix of direct cost savings, the value of just better employee performance, and the real revenue impact from improved sales and happier customers.
You do the math and it leads to this, a net return on investment of 190% over 2 years. This isn't just a positive ROI, it is a massive value multiplier. This is the kind of data that transforms the training department from a line item, a cost center, into a proven profit center.
And you know, when it comes down to it, what a framework like this really delivers goes way beyond just optimizing a training budget. It's about building a data-driven mindset into the culture of your organization. It's about making smarter decisions, not just in HR, but everywhere. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. We've talked about what it costs to get this right. But maybe the bigger, more important question is this. What is the true cost and the ongoing risk of simply not knowing if your single biggest investment, your people, is actually paying off?